Joining us now, NBC News Pentagon correspondent Hans Nichols. Hans, good morning. We want to talk now about the mission that led to the death of Sergeant LaDavid Johnson and 3 other Americans. What more do we know this morning about what happened there?
Well, we know a little bit more about the tactics on the battlefield, how it went down. We still don't have answers, Willie, to the big questions. Why were they ambushed? Why are highly trained, mostly Green Berets, why were they out in the open, separated from their vehicles? What sort of intelligence failure was there? Now, we do know a little bit on the back and forth. Within 30 minutes, there was French air support. Officials here are saying that's a testament to how closely the U.S. is working with their allies. We know that there are about 8 that were separated from the larger group. They're visiting a village. We got some clarity yesterday on a key question, and that is, where were they medevaced and how were they medevaced? The casualties were medevaced by French helicopters. There was misreporting on this. The Pentagon, frankly, had not clear information at first, so it was the French helicopters that medevaced American troops. We still don't know when, how long they were on the battlefield, and it was an American contractor that actually ended up evacuating the dead Americans. So they had 2 separate helicopters come in. Remember, a remote region of Niger. You think of the border there with Mali, this was drawn by colonialists. There isn't any geographical distinction, so they should have likely been more on guard given how many terrorist groups there are in that part of the country, that part of the world. Listen to what Secretary Mattis said when he was talking about the real risks soldiers face all across the globe.
At the same time, war is war, and these terrorists are conducting war on innocent people of all religions. They're conducting war on innocent people who have no way to defend themselves. And I would just tell you that in this specific case, contact was considered unlikely, but there's a reason we have U.S. Army soldiers there and not the Peace Corps, because we carry guns.
First informed Congress on Tuesday, October 4th at 3:47. The first flashes from Radio French International didn't come until 5:50 on that day. So the Pentagon, they're pledging cooperation with Congress. They want to make sure Congress is being brought aboard. Obviously, though, they're not doing enough. Really?
All right, so a little more clarity there. Still plenty of questions to get through. I also want to ask you, Hans, about the latest version of President Trump's travel ban that may play some role in the deadly events that took place in Niger. Let's go through the potential connection. Ever since the new travel ban was announced in late September, there's been one glaring question. Why is Chad, a key American partner in the fight against terrorism, on that list? One foreign policy expert quoted last month as saying, "I'm scratching my head about this. Why institute a travel ban against a key ally?" According to the AP, it's all due to an administrative issue. Chad did not have the right kind of paper required by the Trump administration to provide a recent passport sample due to a paper shortage. Chad's government offered to provide a pre-existing sample of the same type of passport, but Homeland Security refused to make an exception. Officials tell NBC News the decision was made without the input of the State or Defense Department, and that other national security agencies vehemently objected to Chad's addition to the list, but they were overruled. Hans, can this possibly be a question over paper stock?
Yes and no, right? I mean, what the Department of Homeland Security is saying is that Chad wasn't following the protocols, and that to do verification of people coming in from Chad, you need to have all these protocols verified. And this attack in Niger is a reminder that there are a lot of unsavory characters in these parts of the world, and it's kind of difficult to keep track of them. At the same time, everyone here at the Pentagon, I need to stress this, stresses the importance of working with local forces in this part of the world. The 3 prepositions you hear the most here: by, with, and through. The whole reason we're in Niger is to train local forces. Chadian forces are very good. They're very experienced. Remember, Idris Deby, he is the president of Chad. No saint, right? He came to power in 1990. He was a rebel himself. He trained at Gaddafi's school of revolutionaries. Yeah. These are well-trained Chadian troops. They've seen a lot of conflict. Throughout the entire region, you do need partners, and that's why that's so important. One quick note. Officials here are saying the French partnership is very strong, and everyone really wants to highlight how well U.S. and French counterterrorism forces are working.
So do you hear that head-scratching, though, Hans, over Chad being on the list?
Yes and no. I would say yes, because you need partners, and that's why the mill-to-mill relationship, regardless of what the diplomats and politicians are saying, is so important. Why you have so many training forces going back and forth, training at very American schools. You have Americans learning local language. It does make sense because this is a very dangerous part of the world, and there are all kinds of these shadowy groups, whether or not they're directly affiliated with ISIS, they want to be affiliated with ISIS, they're Boko Haram, they're Al-Qaeda, and so you need verification of these people where, frankly, the central governments there don't necessarily have that good of a hold on all their citizens and what their affiliations might be. So it cuts both ways, and I